She would go through the racks and pull clothes in all different sizes and styles, and since nobody ever asked, "May I help you?" she would head straight for the dressing room. Some clerk always stopped her before she got in the door and said, "Hollis weren't allowed to use the dressing room." Instead of getting mad, she'd get this real confused look on her face and say something like, "Oh, I sure didn't see that sign over there. I guess I'm gonna have to give you all these clothes because I don't know which one's gonna fit me best." Then she asked the clerk, real nicely of course, if they wouldn't mind holding her clothes while she dug in her bag to see if she had enough money. If they refused, she would sit the clothes on the chair, on the floor, and then she'd dig in her purse. "My goodness," she exclaimed over time, "my money must still be in the car." And she hurried out the store, leaving all the clothes for the clerk to put back. That was my grandma's way of fighting back. And until I heard Dr. King speak, that was good enough for me.
There was just something about that Dr. King that made you want to do something to change the way things were. No, it wasn't just what he said, but it was how he did it, and how he always put himself on the front line in the face of danger. He didn't just make a good speech and send people out to march and demonstrate. He led the way, right out in the face of all that danger, those police dogs, those angry people, and those fire hoses. That made us think, if he could do it, we could do it. And we did. We marched right out there and changed the world. Yeah, there were times when many of us wanted to fight back. But Dr. King taught us how powerful nonviolent protest could be. And he also told us that public opinion would be on our side, as long as the cameras were focused on us. If just one of us, just one of us fought back, that would give them enough of a reason to kill all of us. And then, the darkest day of my life happened. Dr. King's birthday. You see, at the beginning of the movement, we all figured that somebody would kill him. But I guess after we had been through so much, just so much, we thought he was pretty much indestructible. Just seeing the pictures of him lying there on that balcony. So much blood, just pouring from his head. It made me feel like I was there, dying right alongside of him. Just bleeding and slowly dying. I was so angry. Because it happened. And I was so afraid because I didn't know what to do next. I was so angry, but yet so afraid. I was so angry, but so afraid.
The history of African Americans did not begin in this country, but this is where our culture, our families, and our futures have been tried in the fire, molded by adversity and strengthened by our struggle. It is here, despite all obstacles, that we have nurtured and sent forth teachers, doctors, lawyers, judges, mayors, governors, athletes, actresses, dancers, opera singers, ministers, and others to excel in areas where doors have been shut in our faces.
It is a promise that his mother made to him, and that he would intend to keep.
I stand before you today to announce my candidacy.
Ever had a conversation about being a senator or being president? It was always about trying to move people.
Every generation, we have an obligation to work on behalf of the next generation. We've got to work to make their lives better.
I know what it's like not to have a father in the house. To have a mother who's trying to raise kids, work, and get her college education at the same time.
It is that fundamental belief, I am my brother's keeper, I am my sister's keeper, that makes this country work.
I know what it's like to watch grandparents age, whether their fixed income is going to be able to cover the bill.
We've got to transform the political culture so it's responsive to you and not the special interests and not the fat cats, not the lobbyists, but it's responsible to you and your
And
children.
when I travel from town to town, I see Americans going through the same things that my family went through. And I'm reminded of what my mother always said. Imagine what it's like being somebody else's shoes. You know, one person's struggle is all of our struggles. We recognize ourselves and each other. To make sure that opportunity is there. Not just some people, but all of us. That's the country I believe in. That's what's worth fighting for.
But our struggle is not over. After all this time, African Americans fight to open doors, close gaps, and build bridges. Our most daunting challenges is the senseless violence that threatens to destroy our youth.
Behold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Words like freedom, sweet and wonderful to say. On my heartstrings, freedom rings, all day and every day. And are endowed with certain inalienable rights, among them, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. There are words like liberty that almost make me cry. If you knew what we knew, you know why.
Thank you all for coming out this evening. We're going to introduce our cast and characters, narrators, and soloists. Okay, I'd first like to introduce the chorus. We have Miss Demetrius West. Miss Pamela Coleman. Miss Nicole Smith. Miss Janae Morris. Mr. Gregory Pittman. Miss Alicia McNeese. Miss Morgan Dorsey. Mr. Dewan J.D. Glasper. Miss Danita Shine. Miss Santrella Garrett. And Miss Carlina Prophet. Okay, so of course, within the stage, we now have the soloists. Once again, singing Sometimes I Feel Like a Motherless Child, we have Miss Monet Humans. I Shall Wear a Crown, Miss Tamara Coleman. Deep River by Miss Janae Morris. Oh Freedom by Miss Lucy McNeese. America the Beautiful, Mr. J.D. Glasper. Soon I Will Be Done by Miss Santrella Garrett. And Precious Lord by Miss Carlina Clark. Okay, now with actors, please stay on stage. We have our acting crew. Once again, we have Miss Morgan Dorsey. She was the role of Sister Abernathy. We have Miss Ife Tayo Maria Flannery. Eugenia. We have Mr. Derek Odom, who plays Reverend J.W. Logan. Crystalline Frazier, who plays the role of Georgia. Once again, Mr. Gregory Pittman, who played the role of George. We have Miss Santrella Garrett, who played the role of the minister. And Mr. Walter Fraser White. Mr. Larry Heath, who plays the role of Frederick Douglass and also Solomon Northwest. The lovely Miss Regina Stevens, who played the role of Willie Esther. Miss Jada Storr, who acted in our poem, Slave Ship Memories. And Miss Elizabeth Gathaway, who also was Mrs. Spencer. And last but not least, Miss Jessica Stewart, who played the role of Georgia. If we can have the narrators please stay on stage. Narrators, please come on stage. We have introducing Mr. Tony Price, coming all the way from Okinawa, Japan, with Act 1 narrator. Act 2 narrator, we have Miss Calicia Pitts, and Miss Sherelle Shepherd was the second narrator for Act 2. Unfortunately, she had to leave us to do another dance competition. Okay, now I'd like to bring out the production staff. First, we have my co-producer and co-director, my rock, the person who's held me down and helped me out so much, Miss Samantha Morrow. The person who was responsible for all the music, the selection, arranging the chorus, arranging the solos, the piano playing, Miss Brittany Garrett. And this lovely lady right here, we have Miss Jessica Stewart. Jessica Stewart was our production assistant. She helped us out with all the paperwork, arranging the actors, and also helping out with the stage. And then last but not least, the lovely Miss Amber Green. Who is responsible for all the lighting arrangements, some of the set design, the props, and scenes. So once again, and last but not least, Cassandra Miller. Cassandra Miller, she is our costume director. All the beautiful costumes you've seen tonight was the work of Miss Cassandra Miller.